third contestant is 813. And he will be speaking on a quotation from Voltaire, "Anything too stupid to be said is sung."
In one of history's most classic fables, we see the story of a small duckling who isn't exactly like the others. Specifically, when he seemingly develops a bit of feathers or plumage that the others don't necessarily recognize. In fact, in Aesop's fable, The Ugly Duckling, we see a group of ducks, and then a swan. But when the swan develops feathers that aren't like the other ducks, he thinks he's just a little bit too stupid to announce it to the rest of them, and instead decides to fly through the swan pond and really show his colors. And eventually, he ends his life as a happy swan. Believe it or not, that is exactly what I thought of when I was given today's topic. Voltaire once said, "Anything too stupid to be said must be sung." And what Voltaire is trying to tell us is that if we can't express ourselves through mediums of main announcements, we have to shift towards more creative mediums, the doing, whether that's singing or expressing in other regards. We can expand upon the validity of the trueness of this statement by looking towards 3 key points of analysis. First, we'll zero in on the true life story of Irina Sendler in history, before then shifting our focus to the underground mole people of Las Vegas, before finally examining Harry Potter and the Jade Dragon. To begin, it's perhaps most prevalent for us to analyze the true life story of Irina Sendler. Irina Sendler was a plumber who unfortunately was caught with dealing with the atrocities of the Holocaust when she was assigned to work in the death camp Auschwitz. And instead of being able to adhere to the Holocaust regimes, she realized that saying something against the Nazi regime, saying that she was not anti-Semitic in the largely anti-Semitic Germany of the time, would simply be too stupid. She would be sentenced to death like the rest of the victims. So instead of saying that she was against it, she expressed herself through another creative medium. She took her toolkit into the Holocaust camps, smuggled small Jewish babies and children into her knapsack, and smuggled them off to safety. Irina Sendler was able to save over 3,000 children because she wasn't afraid to sing about her expressions instead of stating them. She shows us that even if we feel too stupid to defy an authoritative role, we can make a difference, and we can be heroes. Second, it's important that we change our attention towards a more interesting pop culture phenomenon, that known as the underground mole people of Las Vegas. I know this really sounds a bit crazy, but literally a group of college students in Las Vegas decided that they wanted to start a society underneath the streets of Las Vegas, in the sewers. And although this sounded just a little bit stupid to the rest of the people, they felt completely threatened to start their lifestyle that way. They couldn't believe that they would announce it to other people because they thought they would be turned down in doing so. So instead, they shifted their focus towards creative expression and action. They did it. They created an autonomous society beneath the streets itself, without help from anyone else or without help from their peers, because they weren't afraid to express their actions and do instead of say, despite feeling that they'd be judged. They were able to create a completely functional society. And finally, it's perhaps most relevant for us to turn our attention towards Harry Potter and the Jade Dragon. Now, I know what you're all thinking, but Will, Harry Potter and the Jade Dragon doesn't exist. Well, I'm telling you that it does. A small Chinese boy in the rural areas of China decided that he wanted to write another addition to the Harry Potter series. But unfortunately, he was dubbed as stupid because he believed that he could never write anything that would even come close to what J.K. Rowling did. So instead of stating this to the world, he did it. He wrote, and eventually he drafted the novel, and it has become one of the most popular works of literature in China today. But it's because he wasn't afraid to creatively express himself, to do, to write, rather than just to say that he was truly able to experience his highest moments, and he wasn't afraid of being judged as stupid. So today, when given Voltaire's quotation, anything that is too stupid to be said is sung, we can see that what he's trying to tell us is that anything that can't be expressed by outward expression because it's seen as too absurd must be achieved through other more creative expressions, the doing. And we've analyzed just how true this is in 3 key points of analysis: the true life story of Irene Ascendant, the underground mole people of Las Vegas, and Harry Potter and the Jade Dragon. So although the ugly duckling was different and was afraid of being stupid because of the way he looked, ultimately his soaring through the pond shows us that even if we are swans in a pool of ducks, if we express ourselves without statement, we achieve true happiness.